What's going on, brothers and sisters? I want to welcome you guys to Listener Feedback, episode number 45. And in this episode, this is going to be dedicated to the good brother who has been writing in for over 2 months now, Mr. Cody Clark. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you for always showing support to the podcast. Now, my brother, I want to jump on in to your emails and your voicemails. Now, before we get there, though, if you, the listener, if you do want to be a part of listener feedback, which it seems like we'll actually be recording this episode on Sunday because Wednesday seems to be the day that best suits me to be able to do the regular podcast. So if you want to be a part of listener feedback, as always, you can do it 2 different ways. You can either email the show, and the email address is simply the name of the show. It is the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Now, if you want to call in and dial in like the good brother Cody Clark did, you can do that by calling in at 667-284-9057 and let your voice be heard. Now, Mr. Cody Clark, I want to get to your voicemail. Here we go. Hold on. Let me find it. Let me find it. Hold on. Here it is. Here we go. All right, Cody, you're on, my brother.
Hey, what is on, Keys? It is Cody. I'm out here in Alto, New Mexico, BF nowhere, Southwest. Just thought I'd call and say what's up. Yeah, gave up the Xbox life, gave up the console life, just kind of like resetting. Luckily, as much as I hate Mr. Musk, I tell you what, Starlink, when it comes to connectivity, even during the worst couple of bad flooding and whatever, good internet. So doing this thing out, playing with my my Lenovo lock, getting my Cyberpunk on, getting my EverQuest on, getting my Balatro on, and just watching stuff happen and just screaming at biting at the. It's been a lot, bro. But anyways, gaming is still but it's all MMOs and it's all like old school whatever stuff. I'm watching videos and listening to you and hoping for the best. But I'll tell you what, sir, Nintendo, bad boys. Sony, bad boys. Microsoft, bad boys. Google, Amazon, whatever the heck, bad boys. I'm not a fan of any of them. So let's hope someone steps up and slaps them in the mouth. Anyways, man, Keys, take it easy, drive safe, and I look forward to your next podcast, bro.
Shout out to you, Cody. We got plenty more to go from you, my brother. Like I said, this is your show this week because you have constantly sent in emails and the voicemail. So matter of fact, though, thank you for the voicemail, man. That's like a first. That's the first time anybody's called the podcast on that number. So, yeah, shout out to you for that, Cody. Greatly appreciated. And like you said, man, I got to understand this, Cody, because you said something that is very, very interesting to me. It was a question that I was going to pose, but I held off on it. But as you stated in your voicemail, you gave up the Xbox. I remember you said you gave it to a youngster, let him have it. Said that, hey, I think you'll get more use out of this when you were about to make your move, literally a move to another state. I just got to ask, I know you mentioned the Lenovo, said that you've been playing MMOs, what was that card game? I forgot you had mentioned it, but what was the catalyst? What was it, Cody, that actually made you say, look, I got to give this up. The console life is not for me. I'm enjoying my Lenovo. I'm enjoying gaming on the go, as it were. I'm just curious, what made you get to that point? Now, I also heard in your message, you were talking about Microsoft, Sony, golly, and Nintendo. Talking about that they're doing some bad practices. And man, listen, this is listener feedback. So I'm not going to get into the news of the week. We're going to cover that on Wednesday, but I just will say the thing that PlayStation is doing right now, oh my gosh, man. We got to talk about it. Games coming to other platforms, including Nintendo and Xbox. That's what Sony is about to start doing. That's the path that we are on. I'm sitting here and I am baffled. But we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. My gosh. But Cody, I know you also mentioned the Starlink. That's going off pretty well through the different thunderstorms. I know how you feel about, about that gentleman, Oh man, golly, he has been something else, I will say. But, it's good to hear that at least the service that he offers seems to be holding up through some bad storms, and you've been able to keep connected, to the internet. But with all of that said, though, Cody, of course, I'm just, glad again. Thank you so much for taking the time out to actually call in. And of course, like I said, I got a couple more emails to go over from you. But if I was to ask you something off of that voicemail, yet again, what was the catalyst? What was the breaking point for you to have you say, you know what? I'm done with console life as a whole. I'm not rocking with Nintendo. A doggone sure ain't rocking with Sony. I know you've already expressed that many times, my brother. I mean, Dad Award, all of the slanderous slander that you have given PlayStation over the last couple of years. But I gotta know, Xbox, I know you were rocking with Team Green for a while, man. And I can tell you that for me, what made me give up on Xbox was when I felt like they gave up on me as a gamer by making me feel like, as a console gamer, as it were, more importantly, having PC games come that were exclusive to the PC, but weren't exclusive to the console, where they were giving more attention to the PC. Seemed like they were lacking. They weren't getting third-party deals anymore. They weren't getting second-party deals. Their exclusives, their release times were just so off the mark, where they were taking forever to come out with great quality software. The games were lacking. I just didn't like the way that they were playing their cards. They really made me feel like I don't want you or care for you to be a console gamer, because I'm doing everything to you to let you see, hey, you're not a priority for us. I mean, you're putting games over on PlayStation now, putting games over on Nintendo. That was the breaking point for me. Last generation, when I saw the direction that they were going, putting their games on PC, that was the first indicator that made me really kind of scratch my head. But then again, as the generation went on, Cody, I was like, oh yeah, these guys, they don't rock with me for real. They don't really like me as a consumer. They're more worried about what other people feel. When they were talking about, the Tomb Raider, it's not an exclusive anymore. And when Phil came out there, Phil had a lot to do with this, with my thoughts about the Xbox brand. When Phil came out there and said, when we all play, we all win, and exclusives aren't good for the industry, I'm like, Phil, what are you talking about, sir? This is what this thing has been built on. Competition. And I'm saying I don't think it's great to have to wall off a certain demographic of gamer, from playing a game because it's available on one console. Man, I say, yep, Phil, I'm not feeling this, brother. We are the world. We are the children. Nope. No, sir, I can't do it. Going over to PlayStation fully. And now PlayStation out here looking crazy right now, too. I don't know, Cody. Hey, man, listen, brother. Cody, a couple of years from now, I don't know. Looking at these moves that PlayStation is doing, I just knew this was not going to be good. With Hiroki Totoki in there, oh, man. Anyway, Cody, listen, brother. I'm not going to get too long-winded. That's the question I would have for you, though. I appreciate you writing in. And like I said, we got like 4 more joints of yours to go over. So let's get to the next one. Now, the next one, these are all emails from this point forward. So the first name of your title, the title of your first email that I'm going to read off, pardon me, is Activision AI and games that don't exist. You say, let's see, Cody said, I mean, this is why they are laying off game devs. Plus, NVIDIA adding AI to GPUs to fill in the gap. And guess what? The next frame is. These moves make Crystal Pepsi, New Coke, the Ford Pinto, and mullets seem like scientifically proving good ideas by contrast. God, dog, this brother remembers the Pinto. Oh, my gracious, Cody. He said, man, at least, man, yeah, that was kind of impressive with the Crystal Pepsi, too. That's a real throwback right there, brother. But he said, man, at least if you light a dollar bill on fire, it produces light. AI can't do any of the stuff these NBA having no skill executives claim. We would have chased these guys out of town in the 70s. I hear you, Cody. Now, see, that's the thing. And I did see the video. I didn't see the whole video, but it looked like Guitar Hero. I believe they were saying it was going to be on mobile, but it wasn't real. The game wasn't real. It was generated by AI. They had Crash Bandicoot up there. That didn't look like a Crash that I doggone knew. Looked like that joker got crashed in your face when you saw the design of him. I said, that ain't Crash Bandicoot. Who is this imposter over here? So all of these things were done by AI. And like you said, Cody, what these guys are claiming that AI is going to be able to do, I'm sure we're all very concerned. And I understand this is gaming, but this AI thing is going to take over so many industries and jobs are going to be affected. It's not going to be just gaming. It's going to be way bigger than gaming. But this is just I don't want to call it a test bed, but this is like the early days of what we can possibly expect from AI. And with them actually getting rid of so many talented people that have been in the industry for years, people that know how to develop, these guys that have been proven time and time again, they're getting rid of them because they say that AI can do the same job. I'm with you, Cody. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all that that's going to be the case. I do believe that it's going to take away the human element when it comes to games. I do believe it's going to some of these games are going to feel soulless. And that's the thing. I think that it's going to be a situation of the AI is just going to be checking boxes. That's all. Okay. Story, check box. Main character, check box. I don't think it's going to, have that soul to it, that human element that makes a game amazing, like a Last of Us Part 2. Certain scenes in that game that took place. And I don't want to spoil it. I know that The Last of Us Part 2 was like 5 years old. I'm not gonna, that's usually my threshold. It's 5 years and then I'll start talking about it. But I'll tread carefully. It was a scene where Ellie and Joel, they were in a certain thing. And Ellie actually used her imagination because of a tape that Joel had given her. And she imagined herself doing something, that was awesome. It was just such a touching scene. He did it for her birthday. And it was like, golly, it was awesome. It really kind of pulled at your heartstrings just a little bit. It was a great scene. And I just think that things like that with AI in charge of it, I just don't know if you're going to be able to get those kind of feelings, those kind of emotions, out of certain gaming experiences that we're used to having. So again, Cody, I'm with you, brother. I'm not too sure about this AI. I hate the fact that it's making people lose their jobs and that they think these executives really think that this thing is going to be that much greater than a human to actually make something, as it were, inside of the gaming space. I truly do believe you still need that human element. And I do understand, I'm not trying to be, hyperbolic or, trying to say all of the human jobs are going to be taken away. But it's still a thing of, if you got more AI working versus human, then what side do you think is going to ultimately have the biggest footprint, on a game or, just a product in general? If you're taking more of the human element out and just putting this AI in its place. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you, Cody. I don't know what's going to happen with this. The gaming industry as a whole, Cody, we have never been here before, brother. These different rules and things that are happening, these rules of engagement, gaming console rules of engagement have been completely blurred. The only one that seems like they are staying on their square and they are staying absolutely traditional is Nintendo. Nintendo said, we ain't bargaining with none of you mother lovers right now. If you want to come and play Super Mario, Mario Kart, Metroid, Donkey Kong, Bonanza, you got to come and see us. We ain't playing friendly with none of y'all. So Nintendo is the only one truly, to a certain degree, they the only ones keeping it G out here. So shout out to them, doggone it. Nintendo. Nintendo is the only one sticking to the code out in these gaming streets. I don't know what's going on with Sony and Microsoft. Oh my gosh. Y'all fraternizing with the enemy. Well, let's go ahead, though, Cody, and let's get on into your next story. Let's see. What is the next one I got here, Cody, from you? Okay, this one is titled, Microsoft Cancels the Perfect Dark Reboot. Oh, man, this situation gonna make me relive this, Cody. It says Microsoft cancels the Perfect Dark reboot that blew us away last year, closes developer, The Initiative, and this is looks like you got this from PC Gamer. But yeah, okay, so Cody said 9,000 people. They could have just not poured tens of billions of dollars paying for OpenAI, but no, man, that is gross and terrifying. Yeah, this is the thing. We heard that demo, and I know I covered this, Cody, so I won't deep dive into it too much. Let me see what you did send me, though. You sent me an article with this. Oh, yeah, it was from PC Gamer. Yeah, it says Microsoft cancels the Perfect Dark reboot. Yeah. So we had talked about this, Cody, but, just to re-harp over it again, we did understand that wasn't even a real demo. One of the guys, and I mentioned him at the time when we were talking about this, Cody, but one of the developers, he did say it was real, but it wasn't real. It was real in the sense of they did put it together. It was playable, but that demo only worked if you actually followed that same path that they showed on the screen. If you tried to deviate and try to do something else, that's when the whole thing would just crumble and fall to pieces, pretty much. He didn't use those words. I mean, I'm putting a little bit of emphasis on it myself, but he definitely said that if you were to veer off, it wouldn't play right. It wouldn't, it would be unplayable to a certain degree, as it were. Just thinking about that though, Cody, this is the thing. See, I'm a little torn when it comes to The Initiative and what they were able to do with Perfect Dark, because if I'm not mistaken, Cody, and I talked about this, I believe they acquired The Initiative back in 2018. I'll double check. Let's do it right now. When did Microsoft acquire The Initiative? It said Microsoft established The Initiative as a new first-party game studio in June of 2018. Okay, yeah, during the E3 show. There you go. So you're talking about 2018. They got these guys, Cody. Here it is, 2025, which means they had 7 years. 7 years of Microsoft's words, not mine, Phil Spencer's or those guys over there, a quadruple A studio was what The Initiative was advertised to be. And they were getting talent that worked on God of War 2018. They were getting Rockstar talent. They were getting some of the bigger names in the gaming industry to come together to form this conglomerate that was going to be known as The Initiative. Maybe not a conglomerate, but this team that was going to be known as The Initiative. So they were getting top tier level talent to make this happen. The dream team, the U.S. dream team, as it were, was supposed to be working over at The Initiative. So you get them together and they're working over a 7-year period, Cody. Now, we understand the game development takes longer now. It's unfortunate, but it does take longer, for these games to be released. But you mean to tell me, Cody, this is where I kind of veer off and I can understand a little bit more. And maybe you have a little bit more insight into this, Cody, because we know what you've done in the past. You have been in the industry. You've expressed that. So maybe you have a better understanding of this more than myself. But in my mind, I was thinking, okay, you've had 7 years and you still couldn't at least come out with a real demo, something that was fully playable, not to the degree of if I follow this path and I do these certain things, the demo will go smoothly. But you had pretty much a prototype, as it were, after 7 years. It's like, man, I'm sure it was millions upon millions of dollars that were spent on trying to get this Perfect Dark idea off the ground, and you still came up with donuts. Now, the other part that makes me say, well, was that really their fault? Because that's when management comes into play. If you have good managers, if you have people that are actually keeping an eye on what's going on, then maybe you don't fall into this situation, which is Matt Booty, Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond. I mean, all of these guys over there that have that responsibility. I thought it was really Matt Booty who was in charge of these different studios. But if you're not going over there and keeping an eye, keeping a tab on what's going on, where's the progress? Where you guys at? What do y'all need? What's happening? Why are y'all having such a hard time getting a product or a concept or this game released? It's been 6 years. I'm taking a year off because I'm just thinking, look, and that's the thing too, man. They showed this to us and we know how corporations go. Well, I don't know exactly how it goes, but I would figure that if you showed this off last year, I would think that you might have had an idea that maybe y'all aren't going to be able to get to the finish line with this and y'all are going to be shut down. I could be thinking falsely with that, but that's my mindset. I'm thinking that you knew that eventually this was going to shut down, but we've seen this under Phil Spencer's we've seen this under his leadership time and time again. Well, we say, wait a minute, Phil, you didn't know that this was going to happen all of a sudden? Oh, man, guys, I had no idea that we were going to be bringing Forza and Gears of War over there. I only thought it was going to be these 4 games. That's all. It's like, oh, man, Phil, grief. Indiana Jones, I didn't know, guys. I'm sorry. I just had no idea that it was going to happen. It's like, oh, man, so it's just bad leadership. And that's, again, where I find it kind of unfortunate. Not even kind of. I find it unfortunate that these guys actually had to be taken out of there. They got dismantled, the initiative, as it were, the Perfect Dark game that we all were looking forward to. We'll never see it come to light, come to fruition. That's going to be another game that all we can do is just wonder, how great or how good it would have been. Would it have been a game of the year contender? Would it have been one of those games that were a big seller that helped the Xbox brand, become, at least get their numbers up a little bit more? What would the impact of that game had been? I mean, it's all what ifs, now, because it'll never happen. But again, I just think that management should take some hits as well, because if you're doing your job, and I get it, if you just have a team that's not working and they're not putting their best foot forward, they're on break all the time, they're on lunch for 3 hours out of the day, they in their car sleeping, taking some extra time off, the smoke break turns into another lunch break and whatnot, and they're just not working. I get that. You got to just get rid of the team as a whole because nobody's doing their job. I don't know if it was that type of situation or if it was truly just a situation where they were just completely managed terribly. And as a result, they could never get a game going. I mean, they had so many people that were leaving. It was like the initiative was, and I wasn't inside of the walls. All I can do is go off of, things, articles that we see online or different videos that people do. That's all I can go off of. But it seemed like we were hearing almost every week that somebody was leaving and going back to Sony, or they were going somewhere else. Some of the leads, they lasted 6-7 months and they were gone. So it seemed like it was always a situation, a problem over at the initiative since their inception. So, to me, that all does go back to leadership to a certain degree. But you also have to have a team that can work together, which goes back to leadership, being able to put everybody in their best field. Okay, if you're good at the storyboard, you stay on the storyboard. You're good at environments, we'll have you over here. You are good with the talent, the mocap and all of that stuff, directing, we'll have you over here. Everybody has a role to play. But again, it always goes back to leadership to be able to divvy out these different responsibilities and know everybody's weaknesses and their strengths, to make a situation work. But that's where I'm at on that one, Cody. That one is bittersweet. Again, I feel like it's a mixture of, management and, with the leadership and possibly the team being a problem as to why they possibly shut that down. Again, I'm very sad that it happened because I was looking forward to that game. I was like, man, can't wait for this to come to PlayStation. I said, man, I think this one is going to be a banger on the DualSense control. I would sit here and I'm going to wait on it, my brothers and sisters.
Move this man!
Anyway, Cody, man, let me get on to your next email. Hey, man, y'all know Senua Saga is coming next month. Ooh, I can't wait to get my hands on that one, Cody. I'm going to see what that one is about. But let me go on and move on, brother. Now, your next email is titled, Romero Games has been shut down after losing funding. It says, if I wasn't already livid at Microsoft for last week, they are not doing themselves any favors right now. I'm mad at all the big three. I'm kind of glad to be a rogue mid-level of gamer. Man, what a month it's been. Oh, so I'm getting a little bit more insight. So, Cody, is it a situation where you were just already upset with Microsoft? Well, you got to let me know if that's the case. Let me know what led up to the anger. What made you jump off of the console life and get into the PC space, even if it is the handheld Lenovo, which I've seen those Lenovos. They are really, really nice. I do like the way they look and even the way they feel. Kind of heavy, but yeah, they are nice. They are real nice. So yeah, when you talk about being mad at all big three, that's true across the board. I agree with you on that wholeheartedly, because Nintendo, I'm mad at them, even though they're sticking to the console code by not, fraternizing with Microsoft and PlayStation and thinking about putting some of their games on their platform. Goodness gracious, I hope they don't. But these are the same guys that made it seem like it was okay to put games to $80 and $90. That was some bogusness right there. I didn't like that at all. So with them doing that, then Xbox making the moves that they're making as far as putting their games on PlayStation and on Nintendo, I didn't like that either. Having Forza be over there. 2 out of the big three. Golly, 2 out of the big three are on the PlayStation console. 2 of them. And I know that Halo is coming next year, and God dog, man.
But wait, it gets worse.
It's going to be terrible. It's going to be absolutely terrible when that happens. So being mad at them for that is another thing. And then with PlayStation doing this situation where they are getting a team together to be able to put their games on other platforms, including Nintendo and Xbox. Brother, I just don't know where to go from there. I mean, that right there, that completely just, oh man.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
I don't know what they're thinking. Here it is. You have seen PlayStation, and we ain't even supposed to be talking about this, but I do have to say this. We're going to get deeper into it on Wednesday, but you already see what Microsoft is going through right now when you're just going to openly go down that road. Oh, man. Yeah, man, I don't know. Hey, Cody, in a couple of years, my good brother, I might be. It's a possibility that I might be on the same train as you. I might have to go ahead and leave these consoles alone because I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
I don't know what we're doing. I'm like, man, do you want me to leave? Good gosh. It is an absolute bizarre time to be a gamer, a console gamer as it is. PC, I will say y'all mother lovers are coming up. Y'all coming up like a man, oh man, y'all coming up big. While console gamers, we sitting here and we are scrambling, hearing PlayStation talk about putting games on Nintendo and Xbox.
What you talking about, Willis?
I'm like, what are you talking about? Anyway, Cody, listen, brother. This man, what was he talking about, man? Yeah, Romero. Yeah, this guy. Now let me click on this article that you sent me here, and let's read about it a little bit. Romero Games has been shut down after losing funding. Says allegedly as many as 100 individuals were rendered unemployed. God, dog. It says despite losing, the source for this is 80LV, so 80 level. But it says despite losing its publisher and the entire production team, goodness gracious, Romero Games hasn't been shut down. Hasn't been shut down. It says according to the studio's official statement. It says, quote, a major publisher, end of quote, believed by many to be Microsoft, pulling funding from Romero Games, the game development studio founded by Doom co-creator John Romero and his wife Brenda, has allegedly been shut down entirely, with more than 100 individuals, the studio's entire team, rendered unemployed as a result. Romero Games tweeted out and said, and I quote, thank you so much from all of us at Romero Games. Your messages, your comments, your posts, they've meant the world to us. It is an outpouring of support for our team and our game, for which we are so grateful. It says, so yeah, they did get shut down. Hold on, let's see. It says, this is a quote. Let me see. Leslie account was corroborated by the Journal, which reported that the entire Romero Games team, numbering over 100 people, has been let go without any prior warning, citing an anonymous ex-employee. Okay, so this sounds like this is a quote from one of the ex-employees who says, and I quote, we had meetings with the publisher the day before this. God, dog. The day before this happened, there was no mention of it. Says we were being told we were making great progress. So this came completely out of the blue. It seemed so far away for us. The title was pretty well developed at the time. We're trying to find other ways of funding the project, but for now, it's completely closed and the studio is closed. End of quote. Doggone, Romero is a darn legend, man. And they shut his team down. God, dog. Man, it ain't no love. It is no loyalty whatsoever. They said, Romero, listen, I got you, man. Doom and all that was cool. But look, we got to take the funding away, and yeah, you're going to have to figure it out on your own. Goodness gracious.
You big dummy.
That is crazy. That is absolutely wild. This guy is a legend in the gaming industry, and they told him your team has got to go. You and the 99 other people, I'm sorry. You know, I don't know what to tell you. Try to find funding somewhere else. But you are no longer open around here. You are no longer open for business. Gee whiz. Man, I mean, Microsoft is out here just doing all kinds of damage, man. They just, God, dog. These jokers are emptying clips. Rounds and rounds, clips just being emptied. This is wild, Cody. Again, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I knew what, Romero and his team had going on. We can try to look it up. Romero Games. Let's see if we can find something. What title was Romero Games working on? Well, I mean, yeah, we know he's closed. Unfortunately, I wasn't asking for that. Well, we know that he worked on Wolfenstein and Doom and Hexen and Quake. Yeah, I got that. I'm trying to figure out. It doesn't say what he was, what his new game he was working on. But again, with his resume of having, Quake, Doom, Wolfenstein, Hexen under his belt. I mean, God darn, I don't know. I'm really at a loss for words here, Cody. The only thing I can say is hopefully him and his team will land on their feet. And he'll be able to find somebody else to actually publish the game. I'm sure it was going to be a first person shooter. I'm sure with his past of the game kind of games that he's worked on, I'm sure he's going to have something else in that genre, but only time will tell. But yeah, this is bad news, man. Again, I didn't know he even had a team where he was working on something. But yeah, that's just sad, man. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't really have too much more to add to that one, Cody. Except for I wish him and his wife and the team the very best. And I know that's always a bogus statement. It sounds so tone deaf, when people say, hey, I just wish you the best. And you just lost your freaking livelihood. And people just act like, oh, well, you just got to bounce back. It's like it's really a very hard thing to do. So I'm not trying to say it from the standpoint. And hopefully it doesn't come off like, oh, well, you just got to find another gig. No. I mean, this guy, he's a legend in the gaming space. I'm hoping that his name will be enough to have some publisher actually take a chance on him and, give him a second chance to be able to finish the project, whatever it was that he was actually working on. But yeah, Microsoft said, hey, man, everybody's getting affected. And they made it seem like, well, anyway. No, they made it seem like a lot of developers weren't affected. I mean, out of the 9,000, that were let go, even if you had a few hundred developers that were let go, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big number. Let's say it was, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's always a big number, but I'm just saying for comparison, sake. If 800 to 900 people were let go that were developers out of the 9,000, you would say, well, that's really not that big of a number. Just playing the percentages game. Still a lot of people, but yeah, it doesn't compare, So again, I don't know how many developers were let go as far as on the gaming side, but it is sad whenever anybody loses their job, their livelihood, and they have to rebuild, so hopefully he'll be able to do that with his team. But Cody, I'm going to get on into your last email, and it looks like we're actually going to end on a positive note. So The title of this email is An Expanded Game. Yay. Let's see. What's the article? It's Polygon, but you say an actual game I'm kind of interested in. Huzzah. Let's see. Here we go. So this article is Polygon. Oh, The Expanse. Oh, brother. Hey, Cody. The Expanse, man, that game is going to be crazy. That joint is going to be awesome. Man. Hey, brother, I talked about this. Matter of fact, if y'all haven't heard it, what did you give me the trailer right here, Cody? Look at my brother, Cody. He even gave me the trailer. I'm going to let y'all listen to this. Y'all might not have heard this. We went over it a couple of weeks ago, but here's the trailer.
Zafar, pull up NavTech.
Just a sec. Got it.
Taki, we gonna find out about your Kopang right quick, okay?
Just want to do him justice. Stuck his neck out for us. Least we can do is get him out alive.
We've got big enough guns to make justice, all right?
Oh, Michael. To a man with a hammer, just about everything looks like a nail.
Aim for show. Time to say, oh yeah, with our hammer.
Missile range in 1 minute.
Brace yourselves. We're going for a spin.
I ain't gonna ruin the whole joint, but y'all check out The Expanse trailer. Cody, I am excited for this one myself, brother. Man, that's a long trailer. I ain't gonna play the whole doggone thing. But yeah, that game, that's the closest thing we are gonna get to Mass Effect right now. Until Mass Effect releases, which I don't know, it sounds like even that development is looking real shaky right now. Very shaky ground when it comes to that game. So I don't even know if Mass Effect will release, but this Expanse, Osiris, oh man, Reborn, whoo, brothers and sisters, check this trailer out. I'm very, very excited about this. I don't know when it's going to release, but Cody, graphically, man, brother, this thing looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, yeah, it's a beaut. It's an absolute beaut, I might say. Let me see, what do they have any extra things that I might have missed when I covered this before? I know it's based off of a TV show. I've never seen the TV show, The Expanse. I know that maybe a year or two ago, they actually had like a telltale type of game, you know, a point and click, you know, choose your own adventure game, which got some really good reviews too. I never got a chance to pick it up digitally. I think I was a little hesitant because it looked like one of the seasons were taken away. I had to double check on the PlayStation 5 store to see if that was the case, but that's why I kind of hesitated on pulling the trigger for it, because it looked like it was a game that would have been right down my alley. Have any of you guys played The Expanse, the Telltale? It's not by Telltale Games. I want y'all to know that it's not that, but it has that style of gameplay to it. Did any of you guys actually pick that up? Let me know. And if you did, was it good or was it not? But yeah, Cody, this one right here, I'm hoping it comes out next year. We don't have a release date. We just know it's coming out for, you know, PS5, Xbox Series X, and Windows PC. But outside of that, no other things are really talked about as far as like the release date or the year or anything like that. And that they've been getting a lot of comparisons to Mass Effect, and they were happy. They were like, shugs, that works for us. That's a compliment. We're not going to turn that down and act like that's a bad thing. That's a great thing that you're comparing us to Mass Effect. That's a huge and beloved franchise. So if we were going to be compared to anybody, well, not anybody, but any game, then Mass Effect is that's 5 stars. That's awesome. So hopefully this is the thing. Hopefully they will be able to, I understand Mass Effect, that's a high bar to set for anybody to be able to reach, but hopefully they will be able to at least get close, at least in the vicinity of us saying, okay, this isn't Mass Effect, but it is at least, it's good. It's very good. It's well done. Hopefully they'll be able to get to that kind of peak, with this game, The Expanse, Osiris Reborn. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. But Cody, my brother, you have taken us 45 minutes plus in with all of your questions and your voicemail, and you've been rocking out with me for a long time. And I just want to say, again, my brother, I truly, truly appreciate you taking the time to be a part of listener feedback. Thank you so much, man. And of course, that doesn't take away from the other brothers that have been rocking with me for a long time too. I would be remiss if I didn't shout out to the good brother. And man, this brother is always awesome and always extremely supportive. I gotta shout out to, he's also a part of, pardon me, I'm up here slipping and moving. Good grief. Whoa. Wait. Here I go with my unprofessionalism again. But Lawrence Jones, I gotta shout out to Lawrence Jones for always being inside of the Analog Circle group on Facebook. Shout out to you, Lawrence Jones. I truly thank you for everything that you do as well, my brother. As well as, Glovebox Gaming. Everybody, y'all know who y'all are. And I hate when people say, you know who you are, but Glovebox Gaming, I didn't write the list. Y'all know my memory is always bad, man, especially when I'm putting myself on the spot. Names, I be messing up on the names. Y'all hear me slipping right now, trying to think of everybody. But man, y'all know exactly who you guys are. I'm having a brain freeze at the moment. I just really, really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Man, hold on. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to just pass by like, oh man, I can't remember. So that's the excuse. No. Glovebox want to shout you out. Lawrence Jones, I want to shout you out as well. Shout out to Mastino too. Mastino has always kept in contact with me. Mike J, shout out to you, Mike J, for always sending me articles or just us chopping it up. So I truly appreciate you as well. And I also want to shout out to hold on, because I'm up here, man, I'm struggling. Vaughn, shout out to the good brother Vaughn as well. I appreciate you, brothers. As well as others that I might be forgetting your name, or I've never heard from you through listener feedback. Hopefully that changes. I know I'm forgetting somebody. I know I am, but man, I am struggling right now. So pardon me if I did forget your name. Write in, man. Write in or call in. And, just be a part of the next episode, because these episodes, they truly do depend on you guys. And Cody, again, for you, brother, I truly appreciate you. I'm writing in multiple times because it's able to help expand the show. I don't want to do a show for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and that's it. I want to hear from all of y'all. So, again, if you do want to be a part of the next episode of, man, I'm all tongue-tied.
Movement, man.
Oh, man. I'm going to get it together, doggone it. I'm going to get it together. Shoot. If you want to be a part of the next episode and listen to feedback, you can either Call in, and the phone number is 667-284-9057, and let your voice be heard. Or you can email the show, and the email address is the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. I definitely look forward to hearing from y'all. And again, as always, thank you guys for being here. Golly, man. I was all over the place with that one. So let's get on out of here. Before we get out of here, just be sure to go out there, play some games, and enjoy yourself. So until the next episode, you guys take care.